to the cost and valuation for how this cost and valuation is helping in the specification part and the estimation for the in the construction industry. So we will be looking in detail with respect to the cost, valuation, and how it is affecting in the business environment for some kind of people like contractors and other developers, everything. So we will look in detail all those aspects. Before that, we are going to step into that. We will just look into the materials and new innovation technologies have been arrived in our context. So in which I have sorted out 4 materials. Those are those are considered as innovative construction techniques. Right now, in current context, construction techniques have been used like prefabrication, 3D modeling, pillar slab, and ferro cement. If you see the prefabrication, in earliest days and all these kind of techniques haven't arrived. We will follow only the conventional method. But prefabrication is just arrived a past 3 or 4 years back, if I'm not sure. So prefabrication, what is prefabrication technique? Prefabrication is a practice of assembling components of a structure in a factory. Either it is prepared or created in the factory or in the on-site itself. So once it is done in the factory, it will be transported as a full batch or some kind of assembled parts, where you will bring that assembled parts and you will fit into the site on site itself. So that's what they will try to explain here. So prefabrication is a practice of assembling a components of structure in a factory or other manufacturing site and transporting complete assemblies or sub-assemblies to the construction site where the structure is to be located. Prefabrication has come a long way and is gaining in a popularity up on project budgets and timelines. See, right now, so many large scale projects or so many developers, they are constructing their houses or townships or anything with the help of prefabrications only to ensure that the project has been done within the particular stipulated time limit what they have mentioned. So they all depend upon the upcoming new technologies here. So it's one of the good technology, maybe it's one of the advanced technology they are using here. And this technology has a few big advantages also. Right now, going to look into the aims of prefabrication construction. Components manufactured under controlled conditions. It was prepared in a controlled environment. Speed of construction is increased since no curing period is necessary. In early days and all, if we are erect any columns, means we have to be cure it for at least 14 days or some 2 weeks time. But for this prefabrication and all, we need not to depend upon or we need not to wait for curing and all. It's automatically set, and it is lightweight, easy workability, and also act as a thermal insulation, plus less time consuming. It has less labor people and all. It doesn't require any labor and cost effective also. Now, what are the materials used in the prefabrication, or just we can say where and all it can be used, or you can say like how it is used. First, we are going to look into the material: concrete, steel, treated wood, aluminum, cellular concrete, and ceramic products. If you see the components, as I said earlier, we can use this prefab for flooring, roofing, even in the beams and columns, slabs, walls. Sometimes staircase, a batch unit can be prepared in like a staircase. It can be a spiral or it can be dog like anything, and even the lintel and shunters. Now we are going to look in detail about this prefab. There are different types of prefab. One is like open prefab system. It is system used on the base structural elements to form a whole part of a building. Either it can be designed as a whole part along with the frame structure. You can bring it up here and you can import it into the site directly, or you can complete a whole project and you can place it in a site. The first one will be transportation. Second one also depend upon the transportation. The earlier first one is like something like we have to lock and joint. Each parts have to be assembled and then joined. But the next one, which I said, you can bring the whole base element and place it on the site. Further, it is classified into two types: One is partial prefab open system and second is fully prefab open system. To see the advantages, it has highly quality product, and for sure it doesn't have require that much labor to use it, and time saving. Mass production is easy. Mass production in terms of, if the, for say for example, if any unit will have, or if any township or if any flat having the same dimensions of opening and wall with everything in it, then there you can produce a mass production there. So that's what it is, easy also quick. If you just mention the numbers, automatically it will start creating a duplicate copies of it. And protected and controlled production, as well as its cost saving, ensure high degree of safety and less waste consuming. It doesn't need any required safetiness. What we do in a conventional method, if there's any sand means we have to cover with it with some kind of tarp or something, and we have to ensure that the blue metals and all, as well as the iron, steels and rods and all, they have to be ensure the safetiness. But here we need not to have, we need not to see that safety. Just fully prefab done. And to see the disadvantages, carefully handling the components, attention has to be paid on the strength and corrosion. While designing, you have to be paid attention for the strength of corrosion and resistant joinings of prefabricated sections to avoid failure of the joints. Before creating a prefabrication, we have to do the checking in the 3D modeling or something, ensure that it doesn't sag or something, there is no failure in it. Then the transportation cost may be high for the such a voluminous sections. It will be high for the transportation, and you need a heavy crane to lift it, all those kind of elements here. And requirements for heavy duty of measurements, joints, which is nothing but require heavy duty of cranes and measurements of the joint.
The person you have called is speaking to someone else. You can wait or call again later. நீங்கள் அழைக்கும் நபர் வேறொரு நபருடன் பேசுகிறீர்கள்.
Sure. And the next thing which you are going to look into the another material is, sir, on the block alone, sir, அது move பண்ணுங்க. Thank you. And the next thing which we are going to look into the material like 3D modeling. 3D modeling, when we saw 3D modeling means, when we say 3D modeling, it is nothing but, generally we used to say the modeling for the officers and to understand the miniature of the model of our project, what we design. If we earlier days and all, we used to do that, we used to say the 3D model in the office terms for the enhancing their project, what they have done, as well as for the students to project their ideas, conceptual thought. But nothing has to be done in the human scale. But in Madrid, they have designed one 3D modeling bridge with respect to the human scale, and it is efficiently functional. So it is possible that we can do the 3D modeling to the human scale also. The first pedestrian bridge is printed in 3D in the world was inaugurated last December in 14, the urban park of Alcobendas in Madrid, which has total length of 12-meter width and 1.7-meter wide, which is printed in a micro reinforcement concrete. There you can see the process, how they have done the mesh materials, and the next image will show the strengthening, and the last will give the final output of the model. And the image which you see, the clear cut image where it connects from one end to the another end. This conventional material which you know already, like it's not a pillar slab. This pillar slab is a mechanism to replace the concrete in a tension zone. Pillar slab is just not a part of a slab. By reducing the quantity and weight of the material, this roof became very expensive, yet it retains the strength of the conventional slab. Most common material using in the pillar slab is like roofing tile, like mangrove tiles, And this mangrove tiles is placed between the steel ribs and concrete is poured into the gap to make that a pillar slab. The structure requires less steel and cement as a less steel and cement only. It is also act like a good insulator, heat insulator one. So the common materials which we are using right now is like mangrove tiles, burnt clay bricks, hollow concrete bricks, stabilized mud blocks, clay pot, and coconut shell. So the right side of your images, which gives a clear picture what is the pillar slab and how it is being function and how it is placed, everything. The next thing is like advantages. What are the advantages from this pillar slab? Thermal insulation, better aesthetic, considerable cost quality, so cost ceiling, carbon reduction, promoting reuse of the same material, promoting reuse of the material, and it promotes the sustainability and green concept, as well as it reduces concrete reduction of the concrete quality. The next is like ferrocement. Ferrocement is a system of reinforced mortar or plaster applied over a layer of metal of mesh. Woven expanded a metal or a metal fiber closely spaced thin steel rod such as rebar. The right side of the image you can see very clearly detail the 3D view, how it is placed and how the mesh and how this ferrocement is being done. With the help of this ferrocement, we can do any kind of structure or organic system. And what are the techniques has been used to create this manufacture is like hand plastering, semi-machinized process, centrifuging and gunneting. Materials which you are used here is like mortar mixture, skeleton of steel, steel mesh reinforcement, steel as well as the reinforcement mesh, and fiber reinforcement, polymeric mesh. You see the cement mortar mix means we will use only the ordinary cement Portland only with a fine aggregation, and this proportion consists of 95% of cement and 5% of the mesh as composite, and it occupies 60 to 75% of mortar, pesticides and other admixtures also can be used here. If you see the properties means very durable and cheap, versatile material, less shrinkage, low height, low weight, high tensile strength, stiffness, better impact, punching shear resistance, undergo a large deformation before cracking. These are the general properties of ferrocement. And the application, if you see where and all it can be applied and where and all used means even it can use in marine applications, in right now mainly in the water supply and sanitations, agricultural field and all, agricultural space or the farm like vertical farming and all, there it can be used. Residential buildings, it is adaptable, and rural areas like something and other rural energy and miscellaneous uses also used. You see the images, you can able to differentiate how it is functioned in the residential as well as in the water supply or some marine applications or a small kind of board which help to move like lake. And next is, if you see the advantages, as we saw the properties, it's a similar kind, like highly versatile and 20% of saving a material and cost, sustainable of precasting, flexible in cutting and drilling, jointing, good fire resistance, the good fire resistance and as well as impermeability, and you need to have only low maintenance cost, labor intensive and highly waterproof, higher strength to weight ratio than RCC. Thus, we came across what are the materials, new innovation materials and how it is being used. But right now we are going to look into the what are the factors to be done for selection of such suitable site to have such kind of plant treatment or industrial process. So generally, if you want to select, if you are going to have such kind of factory made or something, if you are planning to do that, you should have some kind of 10 factors. What are the 10 factors? Availability of raw materials, nearness to the market, and nearness to the source operating power, and labor supplies, transportation, finance, climate, industrial inertia, personal preferences, and government policy. I'll just give a glance what are these things. Availability of the raw material means it's nothing but like the place which you select to that you're going to have a site means you should ensure that this raw natural material is available very abundant in nature and you can take it very easily. For example, iron and steel in industries in Bega, textile factories, when you go for the textile means factories in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Jute means Bengal, West Bengal. So these are the ideas. They were depend upon easily availability of their own raw material, so that it reduced the transportation cost. Next is like nearness to the market. Nearness to the market is nothing but the material ensure that it is close to when you prepared or when you process that material, it should be easily sent to the market, so that the market where it is placed from the preparation point of the batch plant should not be not far away, and it will be help you for to sold, as well as the price also yield for the reasonable profit. Transportation will be very less in this point. And also minimum wastages. Minimum wastages in terms like you can ensure that the material is not breakable or not wasted anywhere, something due to the transportation. Nearness to the source of operating power, the same as to the nearest to the market. If the material can be, if you are placing your operating system very close to the material where you get the abundance, that will be helpful for you. As well as the source material for operating systems is like for running out of the engines and other things, you need some kind of coal or hydroelectricity or the oil. So it will be very, you should select a site in such a way that these materials are available near to your operating point. And as well as the labor, the people who works in that particular factory is also need to be placed, or you can ensure them they were very next to the circle boundary or the within that particular context or the radius of the operating system. As we saw the earlier, transportation, every industry requires a cheap and efficient means of transport, and it transfers both raw material as well as a source of supply to the factory and the finished product from factory to the market. The location of plant should be placed at where adequate transport facilities are available at a cheaper rate. And finance, these are the general terms. Like finance is something like where you initiate if you want to have an initiate project, you will be depending upon some kind of fund. Either it can be from the bank, or you can apply loan or some other like joint nature. So these will fall into the finance category. And the climate, why climate here plays role means certain industries for sexual working require special type of climate. You see the cotton industries requires a humid climate, while the photographic goods industries flourish best in region for dry climate. So here the climate plays a major role. And the next is like monument of early start to the industrial inertia. It is nothing but like local tendency of establishing industry to remain localized in a particular areas where it arose some original advantages possessed by the area to such work and lost their previous importance. For example, if some space has its own unique nature. For example, you can say like a Madhya Kailash. Earlier, the Madhya Kailash is not been known very well, but after that IT you step in, that after the TCS step into the particular road, we say it is immediately IT corridor. The same way, when any function is added in a particular space, that old or the initial importance has been lost, and to ensure that it doesn't last, here they want to try to say that when you place some any industrial, it doesn't affect the earlier one. And personal preferences is like with respect to our own, you can have your location of any industries to be decided at a personal spaces of as you like. And last one is you have to abide all the government policies, everything. So once you have, this is just a like overview of that why we are learning this thing. And the major factor is something like what are the main innovation materials which you came across. Right now I have identified only the 4 elements, but you have to ensure that more than what I am projecting here. And now we are going to into the next topic is like valuation. What is valuation? If you see, if you say value will be like you are valuing a property, or you can value anything. It's based on the use, stability, structure, or if you like whatever it is. In the same way, it was like value. Here they are given the definition as in this method, determining the present value of property such as building, factory, and other engineering structures. You can determine the value for each and everything, structures, various type of land. But with respect to the civil engineers, it's all like immovable properties of land, agriculture, and other things. By valuing the present value of property defined maybe depend upon the decided by its selling price and income and rent it may fetch it. So overall, if you see valuation of a particular property depend upon the structure, life of maintenance, as well as the location where it is located, and we are depending upon any bank interest. Cost means original cost of construction of purchase. Here the term cost means the year of purchase, what time they have purchased, at what value they have purchased. So that's a generic term for valuation. And objectives, if you see the objectives, if your owner want to property to sell means they need to have some value of the property. The person who buy purchase is also required that valuation. Maybe he can assess with the current market value, and the valuation of properties is done for fixation of taxes like municipal taxes and wealth taxes, estate duty and all. Even to determine a rent of the particular space or something, to have that valuation is required. Usually the general percentage of the rent you can fix is like 6 to 10 percentage of the particular context. That's a guideline they have given at first. Right now in current context it may vary depend upon the usage and the sources. If need of loan, if you approaching for any loan to be taken against the security of the property, there also we have to value your bill form. If for example, the next point is like if property is acquired by a government by law, for paying it compensation also valuation record. For this as best example is like which I say is right now you can see so many metro projects and all going here, but some spaces and all if they need to have a fire means they acquire some part of a land. If they acquire such part of land from your end, they will ask you the valuation of the particular building or emptiness, whatever the empty plot also they give based on the market value or the guideline value. You will come across what is the difference between the market value and the guideline value in future in the upcoming slides. For getting the insurance also, if any property has been damaged in during that construction or some other has been done, for example, even you might have read so many rules while doing a underground tunnel, metro and all, your property has been damaged. So during that time, if you want to rebuild that property, government will pay some kind of compensation, as well as you have to claim some from the insurance of the bill form. If you were going to claim means that your valuation of the building should be assessed. If any cases to be filed with respect to property also with in the court or something, there also valuation. So these are the space where you can see how the valuation is important, play a major role in the architecture or in the our field. So we will just come across like what are the property purpose of valuations in generic. I don't wish to say it's all the earlier point which you mentioned already in the objective. So again, if I want, it's something like buying or selling properties. When it is required to buy a sell properties, valuation is required, as well as taxation. To assess the tax property, valuation is required. Tax may be like, you know, what are the taxes and all there in our current context. Apart from that, rent fixation. For if you are acquiring for, if you are approaching for any loans or mortgages means, there also valuation is required. And even upcoming things are like compulsory acquisition. The compulsory acquisition is nothing but, as I said earlier, that it's mandatory that we have to give a piece of land to the government. That your property is valued again. And next is gross income. The total income includes all receipt of various sources and outgoing operational collection of charges not deducted. Net income means from that particular building amount what you have got it. So this is saving or the amount left after deduction all outgoing operational and collectional expenses from the gross income. And main thing is sinking fund. A certain amount of gross rent is set aside annually as sinking fund accumulate the total cost of construction where life building is over. This annual sinking fund is also taken as outgoings. Just like outline for the sinking fund, but in detail I will elaborate what is the sinking fund and how it is annually in the upcoming slide. And you know very well the scrap value. Scrap value is nothing but from any building is demolished, from that demolished building we will try to reuse the old materials, whatever it is in good condition. For example, you can reuse the rods, and sometimes people may take the bricks also. So like that, they will value those things, and even the woods, joineries, everything has been used. So they value that thing, and based on that only they will give the assessed cost, and they will mention how it will be profitable to you. So scrap value is nothing but dismantling of the material. That means after dismantle, we'll get back the steel, brick, timber. In case of machines, the scrap value is metal or dismantled parts. Generally, in construction, they will take have only the 10% of the total cost of the construction. So scrap value is sale of usable material minus of the cost of dismantling and removal of the rubbish material from the material which you taken, which you are going to use. Salvage value, it is like value utility period without being dismantled. Before dismantle, this value will be taken and we can sell it as a second hand, like second part, second hand houses or second hand cars. It is applicable. This valuation is applicable in all the fields. Right now, we are looking into the with respect to the constructions. The market value. The market value of a property is the amount which can be obtained at any particular time from the open market if the property is put for sale. This market value differs from time to time according to the demand and supply. The value is changes from time to time for various reasons such as industry, change in fashion, change in means of transport, cost of materials and labor, etc. So you know very well that market value is set by the government, and this value sometimes it may depend upon the locality when it has been boomed. For example, like storing Nolo, you can say Anna Nagar and all is boomed right now. There, if you want to buy a purchase land, the market value of that particular area context will be very high because of that area locality or the any sources which is nearby, like schools, colleges, or any transportation facilities. So these are the things which you are going to see the factor affecting the market value. You will get a clear picture how the market values play a major role in the current construction industry. So factors affecting the market values are like change in area quality, change in taste and fashion. Taste and fashion means here what they try to say is like in early days you might have seen that arch buildings or colonial stuff and all. Right now, some people may like it and some people may not. So, if the particular context is like following the same skyline of the building, means at that particular space, if you are going to sell any piece of piece of land or build form, means there you can play a major role. This change in taste and fashion play a major role here, and the design of the property. Sometimes the design people may inspire from the design, so even that also affects the market value. And the communication facilities, nothing but the transport for facilities and other rapid developments, as I said earlier, the boom like schools, colleges, hospitals, and easy loan facilities, change in policies, effect of population, and last one is financial effect. So these are the factors which is affecting the market value for the construction field. The next thing is book value. Book value is the amount showing the account of book after allowing the necessary depreciation in a particular year, and the original cost is minus from the amount of depreciation in a year. The end of an utility period of the property of the book will be only a scrap value. It's similar to the scrap value, but here they will take the amount of depreciation. So I'm just throwing out the point how many valuations differences are there and how they call it as in each and every spaces. So you can't generally define a single word statement evaluation for a building. Each valuation of space and particular item may vary and they will fall into different category. That's why we are looking into so many different things. Like next is distress value. Distress value is nothing but if you are going to sell a property in some kind of seismic zone. For example, if it is a Pallikarnai, the marshy land area, you may not project like anything may happen, flood may occur at any time, water may enter into the particular home space what you are going to particular property which you are going to sell it. So these space areas which you can they will value based on this. If you're going to sell this kind of space any property from the particular area, they will value with the help of distress. So like this each value will play a different role. Monopoly value is something like some certain properties possess special advantages with respect to the adjoining properties due to location, size, shape, frontages, and owner of such properties possesses higher value than the market rate. So he may say, I have a large road widening, and even I have a frontage very at the front. So these are the highlightation points which we immediately get attracted, and he will have his own higher value than the market value they have defined. Such prices is called as a monopoly value. And accommodation value is nothing but this is large scale in with respect to the city and other things. So if you are going to any development in a township or something, for such thing you will acquire placing your people or the the construction workers, for example, if I'm, or you are going to redevelop a particular space, let us take like this. So if you are going to accommodate them in some different spaces, the adjacent space may be an agricultural land. That space is converted into the accommodation for them. So this guy has to pay the accommodation value to him. It was like that. And the guideline value, which is earlier we saw, like market value is different, and guideline value is something like for collecting the revenues on sales and purchase of land of the building, and circle of rate of land is fixed by the manager, district manager of the particular context, and the stamp duty is charged on the value of property at these rates. Such value may be said as a guideline value. So these are the general thing. At last is like a depreciation. Depreciation is nothing but loss in value of property due to its use, life, wear, tear, decay, and obsolescence. The general annual decrease in the value of property is known as annual depreciation. Usually the percentage rate of depreciation is less at the beginning and generally increase during the later years. So there are different type of depreciation. Depreciation is like they will value your building, like they in Tamil they will say like தேய்மான value, தேய்மானம் எவ்வளவு நாள் யூஸ் ஆயிட்டு அது இது பண்றது something. It was like that. So method of calculating depreciation, so the three types they are used, like straight line method, constant percentage method, and sinking fund method. So these are the main three things which we are using in a current context. So straight line method, to find out the annual depreciation, the original cost which you buy the plot or bill form minus the scrap value, you have to do that scrap thing, and how many time lifespan it undergone, life in a year. So you will get this, the value of the annual depreciation, you will get the percentage or something. And the same way for the constant percentage means 1 minus of the scrap value to the 1 power n and the original cost. Here n plays a lifetime in a year. At last, the sinking fund method. This sinking fund method is commonly used comparatively the straight line method and the constant percentage method. So it's very important to learn. Right? The depreciation of this property is assumed to be equal of the annual sinking fund plus the interest of the fund of that year. This method helps for calculating the book value of the property. The earlier one in the slide which we saw the book value, right? So this sinking fund method is related to that thing. You see the tabular column for every first year, S is mentioned for like annual sinking fund and C is the original cost of it. They will mention, sir, this sinking fund annual thing, if you find for first year means you will the you can find in PWD norms also. Like it's just general terms you can apply here. First year depreciation is concerned as S, and total depreciation will be similar as the same value which you find out the same, and the book value is like total cost which the original cost minus the sinking fund in the first year. The second year it's second the times of the total depreciation of the earlier year plus the value of I here represents the interest of the earlier one. It's like something like a max, but it's very easy to understand actually. What I try to say is like we will keep adding basically on the interest also. If any person's gone for loans or something, it will be similar kind of thing, but it totally vary. One thing is like with respect to the cost of original thing what you buy as well as the sinking fund, so as well as the depreciation fund. So depreciation you will find out from these three kind of methods. And obsolescence is a value of property or a structure became less by becoming in a date, style, or structure in origin and a design. It is termed as obsolescence. So if you find the differences between the depreciation and obsolescence is very quite similar in few areas. This physical, if you see in the depreciation, this is a physical loss of value of property due to wear and tear, decay, etc. I'm sorry for it. And depreciation depending upon its original condition, quality of maintenance, and mode of use. This is a variable according to the age of property, and more the age, more will be the amount for the fund. And that's how the depreciation. And if you see the obsolescence, the loss of value in property due to the change in design, fashion, structure, and change in utility and all. And obsolescence is the normal progress in arts adequate present to the growing needs. This is not depend upon the age of the building. And your new building may be suffer usually rent due to obsolescence. At present, there is no method for this calculating this obsolescence. Annuity means like annuity is mentioned for the weaker section people. They can government has been done certain taken a certain initiative steps for giving a house for their own. So they will do it for an installment basis. And types of annuity is something like uh, annuity certain, annuity due, annuity deferred annuity when the payment of annuity starts at further, and perpetual annuity. So if you read these things, it's very easy. When you value a property, as we saw, like the basic thing is size, shape, and the width of a roadway, quality of material used, and the construction and price of the material. And the major methods for determining the value of properties like rent method, profit-based method, cost-based method, and development-based method, and depreciation method and value, plinth area method, and capital value comparison method. But generally, here we will use only the depreciation method of value. So for just giving outline for rent method valuation, based on the rent you can able to analyze it. Rent in terms like the neighborhood contextual people may leave rent for the particular space similar to a kind of plot. So from that, it's the same plot area and same kind of rent if you're planning to it, you can do the rental method basis. And depreciation method of valuation is main thing. According to this method, depreciation value of property is present day calculated formula. D is depreciation value, D equal to P bracket of 100 minus RD in terms of 100. Here RD is represent a fixed percentage of depreciation, P represents the cost of present market rate. The RD, they have given a certain guidelines here based on the lifetime of the building. So RD value, if your building is 75 to 100, your RD will be 1. So like this, if it's less than 20 means 5. Now from this overall, you will get the analysis of the valuation, and this business factor is nothing but which related to the developers. They have only two factors. One is like external factor and another internal factor. External factor is something like conditions, entities, even factors surrounding the organization and its choice. Determining opportunity risk, also called external environment. And internal environment is something like multicellular organism, the aqueous environment that is outside the cell but inside the body. Let me throw a different point, something like with respect to the architecture means they are differentiated into two types. One is like a micro and the next is macro. Micro, if you see the micro external environment means who are the affected persons or who are the persons play a major role. One is a customer and the prospector. The next one is apart from the customer is an investor, the one who invests in a particular project, and the competitors and the suppliers, managers, employees. These are the micro stuff. And the macro with respect to the offshore of the particular context, you can say like economical factor, money factor, and political issues like political factor, technological, you may depend upon any technological aspect, and also psychological and legal thing. Legally, you may get any issues. So demographic is a contextual people next to a site. So if, in general, if you say like these are the factors which they are facing in during the construction issues. If you are doing any large scale project, you will be you have to follow the governments what they are saying. You have to bring your vehicle at after the night time. So you should not supposed to disturb the particular traffic in the particular contextual people. There it plays a political as well as the demographic to understand the people lifestyle, and they will ensure the safetyness. And if you see the micro means with respect to the inside that particular space, like the who and all the major people is play a major role. The customer will be there, and the one who come for the site of it's the customer, the buy the particular part, and the investor. He is a main key role playing in the thing. And the competitors, while doing the projects, there will be so many competitors also. And the suppliers, if you are supply any material, you have to ensure it is safetyness, as well as for the managers and the employees means you have to take and care their life insurance and other, ensure they are wearing all those masks, and periodical inspections should be done. So many factors are there here. This will be coming under into the micro, and that will be talking about the macro. So you can read all those things in detail. I'm just showing out only the outline with the highlightation point. You have to elaborate it in detail. That I have sent already your notes, like a combined share notes in detail. At last, we are going to look back into the same step, innovation conceptual material, which I feel totally different from the context. So I would like to share these things. If I'm not sure, you might have come across earlier. The one is like translucent wood. This a much it's a wood similar to like where you can find this development what you can say with respect to the concrete and wood. They have done this thing construction. It act as one of the construction material. It has been aggressive and so strength also. The next one will be the cooling system and the brick. So cooling system in the brick means they have combined some kind of hydrogel here and ensure that the gel will act like a cooling particle for this inside a room space and also act as an insulation stuff. The third one will be the cigarette butts. You know very well that cigarette butts can be transformed into any and this bud has been transformed into the brick. Martian concrete, you know very well that Martian concrete is used in the space, and finally they found that light generating cement. It's something like an we can say like a radium light or refreshments, and they have found out new generation material chemical stuff which will be added along with the concrete admixtures to ensure that space is done in a different texture. And the next is Capcoma stand rod. It's like if you see the image, the rod will be strength will be highly seismic reinforcement. It will act like a resistant thing, as well as it is aesthetic pleasing also. It will be aesthetic pleasing. And last next is biological produced furniture. It's done with the help of bioplastic, similar kind of parametric chairs and other things you can explain with the parametric chairs. And yeah, early they have created a chassis lounge and small chair for kids. It's literally related to the parametric design which you see. And floating piers, you know very well this floating piers in Italy, in the lake Islo, you can see this kind of innovation. The whole space is for about 3 kilometer and 1 lakh square meter of extent. It has been like a something like a cloth wrapped, the yellow space, it is like a cloth wrapped around it. The cubes undulate in the water surfaces, and above it you can use access that space. Next is like pollution absorbing brick. This will be helpful right in current context. This breathing brick, like it will absorb the pollution from the air in the outside context and releases the filter air. You need not have some kind of any ACs and all. It even this itself gives a coolant air. Like one which we saw that hydrogel, right? Hydrogel, right? Gel one. It's a similar kind, but here it absorbs only the pollution from the air particles and it will be reflected into the bill form. So this innovation materials are designed to be part of building standard ventilation system. It has two-layer facade system it seems, and specialized brick on the outside and standard insulation on the inside. So last one is like a self-healing concrete. If any element has been breaked into two pieces, so you can ensure that that can be joined with the help of the self-healing concrete. It should be melted in the or heated in any space. For example, here they have heated in a oven, and once it's cooled down into a particle, water particle or solution, you can pour that solution into the breakable particle to ensure it's get joined. After if you cool them, it will join together. So that's the self-healing concrete. Um, so I hope everyone have understood what is the total of relation between the economics and architecture and how it is being calculated with respect to the valuation, and materials play a major role here. At last, the cost. So these are the major three factors: valuation, costing, and the new innovation material play a major role in the economic and architecture. So that's all the unit 4 totally. Like I have given only here the highlightation points to ensure that you have come across all the new materials and only the important highlightation points which I thought to share to you. I have shared already notes as a combined note from the unit 1 till the unit 4 in the Google Classrooms for all the sections. So you can refer those thing material, as well as I have uploaded in the unit wise also the last 2 units which I have taken class. So that will be sent here. So if you have any doubts, you can contact me. You guys have my mail and